We're back for match week 14, but before we get into it, I'm going to give you a bit of info on what happened in match week 13. Forest shock Liverpool to a big win. Like drama at Stamford Bridge. Aston Villa put 4 against Brentford in a big win for Newcastle against Tottenham, that being 2-1. Leicester City versus Manchester City. They kick off match week 14. Well, Leicester have been on a really good run recently. I think defensively, they've been solid these past 2 or 3 games. I think they've kept 2 or 3 clean sheets. I've not in a row. I had to pick that. They've got some good results in there as well. They hammered Wolves 4-0. Jamie Vardy getting his first goal this season and an assist. So I think do what he done when he came on against Wolves, then I don't see why Brendan Rodgers can't start him. Man City, on the other hand, just came off a brilliant result against Brighton, that being 3-1, but they recently drew in the Champions League with 0-0 with Dortmund. Mahrez missing a penalty. Had even Erling Haaland going off at half time, so some quite action-packed there, and a concern there for City fans, because if Haaland does get injured, who does replace him? You know, who goes up top? Phil Foden, Riyad Mahrez. So for me, this game, I think it's going to be a battering for Leicester, really. Honestly, I do. 4-0 City. Newcastle as you take on Aston Villa. Newcastle are just out of this world at the minute. They're out of this world at the minute. They're just so good. They're compact, they're calm, they're very calm and collected. Overall, they just get each other. I think Eddie Howe and the coaching staff just know each other so well that they're just grinding out results. And the pressure that they put onto the opponents, and it's the pressing. I think the pressing works so much, and I think it's played a big part of this season really. So that's why we're getting results that we did. And I thought I didn't expect us to go there and us to beat them 2-1. I thought it was going to be a draw. I thought it was going to be a 1-1 or a 0-0. Again, a 0-0 or another clean sheet. But yeah, surprised. Wilson with a great goal earlier on. You can't work it out at the end of the day. Aston Villa, on the other hand, have just came off a brilliant result in, quite frankly, a bit of a shocking result actually. They beat Brentford 4-0. 4-0. Where did that come from? All season, I haven't even put 4 past anyone. All season, we're in match week 14, so it goes to show you the cut that they have really. Steven Gerrard, my God, it made him look. Well, it made him look a bit bad, not gonna lie. But yeah, great result for them. But this game, I'm gonna go 2-1. Bournemouth take on Tottenham Hotspur at the Vitality Stadium. Bournemouth, I think about was it a month ago they were on really good form. They won beaten 5-6 games, but the tables have turned a bit. They're on the back of 2 or 3 losses. Them scoring back-to-back games. I mean, don't get me wrong. You watch that West Ham game and that goal should never have stood. Was Zuma scored? I think that was a bit harsh. But before that, they don't have so well. But they're just falling behind now. They're just falling behind. Tottenham on the other hand, they've just got beaten by a very good Newcastle side. That being 2-1 Harry Kane, getting a constellation. But I don't know. I think they've looked. I think they've looked a bit poor recently. Tottenham. A draw in Europe in the Champions League against Sporting. Obviously, that goal being disallowed, which is obviously huge. But yeah, back to back losses. Man United, Newcastle. Doesn't really look good that, does it? I think it's back to losses for the first time. Antonio Conte's time at Tottenham Hotspur as well. So for me, for this game, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna back Bournemouth. I'm not gonna back Bournemouth. I'm gonna back Bournemouth to score. I'm not gonna back them to win. I'm gonna go 2-1 Tottenham. Crystal Palace as they take on Southampton. Well, Crystal Palace just took an absolute battering against Everton. Say what you want, but some of those goals, man. I mean, the football Everton played that game. My God, that was seriously good. Seriously good. Some of the goals, I mean, they got the first goal, which I think was brilliant. And the third goal was absolutely brave with Dwight McDeal in there. But Iwobi is like, it's like, God, he's turned into Kevin De Bruyne. He turned into Kevin De Bruyne. He is the Nigerian Kevin De Bruyne. So I think, before that, they lost two or three games in a row, they lost 3 games in a row, didn't they? But that's a big win, that day, against Palace. But I thought they looked sloppy there. I didn't watch it, but look at some of the goals, and the defending is woeful. So that obviously be a bit deflated. Southampton, well, this got a good point against Arsenal. They got a really good point against Arsenal. Some would argue that should have got the 3. But you just feel on that first half that they defended really well. Xhaka scored a great goal, and obviously Stuart Armstrong basically got the rebound goal, didn't he? But for me, for this game is a bit of a funny one, because Southampton are just such a weird side this season, You don't know what Southampton side is going to turn up. Sometimes they look like they can go 10 rounds of Mike Tyson and grind out a big result as they did against Arsenal and whatnot. But I think they've done that a couple of times. I mean, they beat Chelsea. And I thought they played quite well against Man United as well. But for me, I'm going to go 1-1. Brighton. Well, ever since Potter left, really, not been really much that happened. I mean, you got the 3-3 down the field, which was obviously massive. I mean, 3 goals, a hat-trick, and a quick point. But they haven't really built on that, have they? Don't get me wrong, they've been creating chances in these games. But of that, they haven't really been doing loads, Brian, have they? Still no win for them. And how many games have they played since Potter left? 4 or 5, still no win. So it's going to be concerns there. There's going to be concerns going into this game. But I think this is a kind of game where Brighton will, get into it, and I think they get something out of it, really. And there's no reason why they can't get a point. I think the win will be too much for them, but I think they will get a point. So they have been a bit iffy recently, Brighton. Chelsea, well, they've just came off a great result, actually, in the Champions League. In the now through to the round of 16, which takes place in January. Next stages of the Champions League. But no, I think this one, surprisingly, I think this one will be actually a bit of a tight one. I'm going to go 1-1. Brentford as you take on Wolverhampton Wanderers. 2 teams who have suffered 2, batterings. Brentford getting beat by Aston Villa 4-0. Then obviously you've got Wolves, who have been beat by Leicester 4-0. So two absolute batterings. And 2. Well, I'm not going to say Brentford, because I think at times Brentford have been really good. But Wolves this season, I think I predicted this, and I put some in Premier League predictions, which is on my TikTok if you want to go and see it. But this Wolves are just, to think that they were competing in Europe a couple of seasons back, to think that they were actually in a final, it's just mad to me. It's just crazy. I mean, the downfall of Wolves, even as a neutral, it's depressing, because they were such a free-flowing team. I mean, I always remember that when they came back from 2-0 to beat City 3-2, and they just out some really good results. I mean, they beat City at the Etihad 2-0, and never good result. But no, it's just, and it'll be annoying for the Wolves fans as well, because they think that they're on their up, but then this happens. I think a lot of it's down to management now. Honestly, I do. I think a lot of it's down to management, and I'm not going to necessarily see the backing. I think the backing of the past couple of seasons has been quite good. I don't know who they got over the summer, but I think they signed Hang Wei Chang. He hasn't really done much, have they? And I think last year they bring in Nathan Collins. He's another big signing. Hasn't really done much for them this season though. I mean, and then you've got Brentford on the other hand, who have had good spells. You think this season? They've had good spells and they've had the bad spells, but I think they have been. I think they've been much better than than Wolves this season. But for me, I'm gonna go 1-1. Fulham as you take on Everton, Creighton Cottage. Fulham have just came off a good result. It was a 3-2 win over Leeds United. That being a big result. They look so good this season, Fulham. They don't look so good, but they look better than usual. You know, you put Fulham down the majority of the time, 20th. You know, people joke around a lot that they're sort of the Norwich of the league, but they're so much better than Norwich in the league. You know, they have real potential to finish near that mid-table spot. You know, we're talking maybe 12th, 13th, or potentially even higher. And I'm not going to go into maybe 8th and 9th. I don't think that's possible, but I think 12th is possible for Fulham. Maybe it's 10th, but I think that's where it's maybe a push. Everton, on the other hand, just came off a brilliant result against Crystal Palace, beating them 3-0. Alex will be turning to Kevin De Bruyne. But these are, I think these are two sides which have improved massively this season, especially Everton, and especially Fulham as well. It's actually pretty crazy to see, truth be told. Everton just look solid this season. I think they look so much better. Fulham, they look solid, but what I would say is that they look good creativity wise and whatnot. You know, they might be conceding a lot of goals, but they're winning games and they're scoring a lot of goals. So, you know, so for me, for this game, I'm going to see 2-2. Liverpool versus Leeds United. Well, last season, Leeds took an absolute battering there last season at Anfield. I think, what was it, 6-0, 7-0? They were just all over the shop. Salah, I think, got a first half hat-trick. Mane got the score sheet, Van Dijk. And I think Harvey Elliott was one as well. I might be wrong. But yeah, they took a battering there last season. And they took a battering at Ellen Road as well, that being 3-0. So, and I think Jesse March's job is unlikely to be told. I mean, they haven't won in 8 games, and you've got to think to yourself, you know, will he get the sack out of this? If they do take a battering, I can see it happening. I can see Jesse March getting the sack out of this, out of taking the battering. You know what? They're in such bad form at the minute. I think they need a result. And I think if he wants to keep his job this season, if he wants to keep them, you know, in the Premier League, I think he needs to get a result out of this. And you know what? I'm going to back them. 1-1. Liverpool leads 1-1. The first kick-off on Sunday is Arsenal as they take on Nottingham Forest at the Emirates. Arsenal had this game for poor, lacklustre result against Southampton. In a game where really the crowd work favours for Southampton, I think. In that game, I think they rolled them on and they got a great result. I don't know many sides that have got a point against Arsenal this season. I think that was their first draw actually of the season. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, I mean, as I said earlier on in that first half, I'm not going to repeat myself, but as I said earlier on in the first half, I think, you know, they should have put the game to bed. Nottingham Forest, on the other hand, have just came off a brilliant result against Liverpool at Awani, getting the only goal there, 1-0. What should count as a Steve Cook assist. It's a robbery of how I got a Steve Cook assist. It really is. But yeah, that's big, and hopefully, you know, it's my kickstart something. Maybe they make. I mean, I can't really see it's happening, but maybe that may kickstart something, and they get a point. But no, I think I've said that they might get a point, but realistically, I really can't see it happening. And if I've said that they make a comment that, you know, it doesn't always happen that. You look at Leicester. I mean, when Leicester beat Nottingham Forest 4-0, went on to get beat 2-1 by Bournemouth. So I'm going to say an absolute. I'm not going to say battering. I'm going to say a 2-0 Arsenal. Man United versus West Ham in the last match on match week 14. This is, I mean, you'd say this is an interesting game, but you can't really say. I can't see West Ham in top 6 this season. You know, I can't even see them get the confidence. I don't think West Ham look as good as they have in the last couple of seasons. I think the first season of David Moyes was their best season in a good while. Really good while. I think they were brilliant that season. I thought they were good last season as well, but they got some really good results that season. Chelsea, Liverpool, and others as well. No, I don't think they look good as good this season. Man United, they're a funny old team as Man United, honestly. 1 week they end bad 6-3, and the next week they're actually playing some really nice football. So for me, for this game, I'm going to see 2-1 Man United.